location for the Houston Area Urban League at 1301 Texas Avenue. I've had the pleasure of serving in that space for over 10 years now. So thanks to Judson Robinson, our CEO of the board of directors, Eric Goody, and the rest of the team, we've been able to support, I would say, over 8,000 entrepreneurs by this time. So it's been a fantastic journey. I was going to say outstanding, but fantastic. It's been one of the highlights of my career thus far. Where I'll tell people, I mean, I have an MBA, I have a law degree, but going through that experience, the peer-to-peer engagement, you learn so much that I learned how to be a better business person. I learned how to be a better leader. You hear different subject matter experts and mentors come through the program, and they facilitate. I mean, you're just picking up nuggets. And so that's probably been my best academic experience. And it's like the real hard knocks of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. So I know Robin came through there, and obviously you guys are doing well here. But we continually get to serve the community just by the leadership of the board and the sponsors. It's free. It's a free program. So if there's something you're interested in, whether you're in the idea phase or concept phase, or even if you're an existing business owner, people come through those doors. They sit down. It's a 12-week program. You get to learn all the disciplines and concepts of starting and running a business. The goal is to meet your goals, right? And so some people just come in there because they never heard of business, or they didn't have access to generational entrepreneurship, or they didn't go to business school, and so that's all those tales are often told in our communities. And so it's a good place for you to start out, and if you set your goals, we'll help you meet those goals. And even after you graduate from the program, you still are part of the Urban League family, where our goal is to help you get certified so that you can do business with the city of Houston, the county, or some of the other agencies. Or our goal is to get you access to capital so that you can scale and grow your business, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I loved it.
So say someone they know they want to start a small business but not sure what. So do you at least have to have some idea of what you like? Okay, I want to be a business owner, but I just don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, I think that's actually the best place. You know, the ones who come there and they already know everything. Those are the worst participants.
They keep their hand.
Yeah,
they keep their hand, and you see that in almost every class in college as well.
Absolutely.
But one thing I loved during my tenure going there was you had people who had a very established business, but they wanted to add a little more to it. Right. You had people who had an idea, but they weren't sure. He covered everything from soup to nuts.
You help for them to formalize their idea on what they want to do, or you just give them the information and say, okay. Or how does that process work?
Well, it's a little bit of both. We try to meet the community where they're at, right? And so, as Robin was saying, like some people come there with just an idea, and our goal is to help them formulate their thoughts, get into a business model, and make it so that they have something to take to market. But there are some people who are existing business owners that just may need help in certain areas, or they may need to get access to a mentor, or they may need access to capital. And so our goal is to make sure that whatever that objective is, we provide them with the infrastructure, the resources to maintain and meet that goal. And it varies. So to your original point, I think entrepreneurship is an ongoing journey where you're continually learning. Right. And so you don't know what you don't know. And so if you come there with an open mind, if you haven't met your goals, then more than likely you need help somewhere, and don't try to do it alone.
That's right.
I know when I was younger, I had an insurance agency that I started out straight out of graduate school, and I didn't know a lot. And so I thought, I have an MBA and I can do this, and had a franchise and invested money, and I had some wins, but ultimately
it's a lot too.
I wasn't successful. But
of course you help with business plans, and
that's the
and
beginning.
Help with I think the biggest one that people tend to is the whole market research. That can sound kind of daunting to know, where do I need to place my business? Where is traffic? Is the traffic going this way? Is it going to be seen?
Yeah, no, I think market research, for me, it's identifying the problem that you're trying to solve. Entrepreneurs sometimes get in love with their passion, or what they love, or what they dreamed the night before. But you have
some science behind it.
Well, it's a science, but the science is that you need somebody who's going to pay for it.
Absolutely.
Who's going to pay for that product, and that's where your market research comes in. And so you have to be able to do research to make sure that there's a product and service that the market wants. And if not, maybe you just need to do a little bit more research to work on your business model to make sure that there is, whether it's a business or a consumer, willing to pay for that product or service.
In this program, you have a lot of subject matter experts that come in. And they, like every week, if it's still the same way, depending on what that issue is. Like if you're having a week that's going to cover business plans, you have a SME that comes in and discusses how to create a business plan. Is that correct?
Correct,
Okay.
correct, yeah.
How long is the class? I mean, I know it's so many weeks, but in one setting, is it an hour, 2
About
hours?
an hour and a half,
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
2 hours.
Do you still feed people well?
We
I
didn't.
used to look forward to that. It was always some good hot food up in there.
It was funny, like when we first started the program, like 10 people,
Uh-huh.
and I would say 5 of them were homeless. I mean, they would literally come there just to
God
eat dinner.
bless
So I was like,
them.
if I keep feeding
It's
them, they're
a
going to keep
wonderful
coming.
program.
I'm feeding
And
them
now
more
they're
Right.
CEOs.
in their mind.
Exactly. Now, then
Now
over
they're
years, there was
CEOs.
CEOs saying,
Yeah.
if I keep feeding those CEOs, they'll keep coming back.
Right.
So yeah, that was a value proposition, but
Yeah.
also it was a way to try to build a sense of community.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
so that was the
good.
time
We
when
got
people
to
could
break bread together.
exactly.
Yeah.
Is there a
Exactly.
cap on how many people can actually sign up for the program?
I've tried to make I fit probably up to 125 at one setting, and then as little as like 10 at the very beginning. So, but the average, you get about 30 to 50 people, and then through attrition, I mean, entrepreneurship is not meant for everybody, which
Right.
anybody who started a business knows that. So
Right.
over
They
time, people say, you know
They
what,
fall off.
and it's not that they don't come back, 'cause a lot of them come back, they say, now's not the right time for
Right.
me.
But you know what's interesting? It's going to be a lot more people because of not working and depending on someone else to
Yes.
feed
Yeah.
your family. Then you have to say, okay, now what shifts can I do? So if this happens again, I can be
Right.
protected. So
That's right.
Absolutely. I mean, you asked about do we still feed people? Well, as of March 13th, 15th, we had to stop feeding people because of
It's
the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and so we're all virtual now. But
Okay.
there has been a huge uptick, even in my law practice. I've seen that people are now starting to think about entrepreneurship. Like they're taking it serious. One is maybe because the business that they were operating in shut down, or they had to make a shift. And then two, the new role of technology. I think it's just a new economy here,
Right.
and so you have to figure out whatever plans you had pre-COVID should change, because even if they don't change for you as an employee, well, if they don't change for you as a business owner, as an employee, it should, because you should be thinking about what is your business, your boss or the person you work for is thinking about, because they're going to have to shift their model.
exactly.
So are you seeing more of an uptick of online businesses versus brick and mortar? And a lot of
Yes.
them are service related anyway, right?
Yeah, most technology businesses you'll find are service related, like
Okay.
they call
Like
SaaS
coaches.
company.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
I meant like coaches.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of coaches, a lot of teachers, but you're seeing a lot of independent contractors now.
Okay.
And I think that's because the new economy is now, whether you look at the gig economy or you look at the shrinking workforce,
Yeah.
people are now having to be your own boss, even if you work for somebody. Like there's still some kind of contract that shows you're not a full-time employee. So what does that look like for you? You need to have a proper
No, right,
infrastructure.
a lot of
Mhm.
a lot of contract work for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing that new, that's causing a new uptick. And then also to your other point, technology businesses,
Okay.
everybody's going virtual, whether, no matter what field you're in, you're thinking about how can I operate online?
Because I'm for sure going to go through the class.
I love it.
Now,
What-
here's the thing that I would, the drawback for me personally is social media marketing.
Mhm.
So are you guys actually doing, I mean, now you have to have that conversation. Back in the day, it was like total guerrilla marketing.
Right,
You just
right.
hit the streets, you
Right.
do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But now it's a total shift. So I'm sure that you have to teach how to do social marketing,
You have
social
to.
media marketing.
And we were doing that from the very beginning. And I think at that, because my age when I first started doing this, I understood technology and social media. Now that I'm one of the more seasoned vets,
Right.
I look at the people who came up through the workforce during that time, like they get it. But the people who are my age and older, it's like, oh, we didn't have to do
it's
that.
a struggle.
Like even
The struggle is
struggle.
real.
yeah, no,
It is
struggle
real.
is real.
Yeah, and the thing
Well,
is, you want to
analytics
hire
and
somebody,
what you're like.
it's very expensive.
It could be, but
Yeah,
you.
to try to hire somebody.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of resources. So one, we do bring in a subject matter expert
That's
to
what
talk
they were
about
gonna
social
be
media.
I can't wait for you to start again, because one thing I did see is a lot of your seasoned graduates, they still come back. Either they participate
Yes.
or they're still getting more information.
I think
And
it's
I
like
love that.
just like in general education, you
Yeah,
remember
it's-
some things, but
right.
then you go back and go, oh,
Refresher.
now that I've started doing
Yeah.
this, I have a different. My perspective is different.
Absolutely.
Your perspective change, and you
Right.
see things totally different.
That's
And with that, the material changes. So I've never just sat down and said, here's the basic curriculum, and we stick to it. We had a syllabus, so we knew what topics we were going to cover, but
Right.
it changed based on a subject matter expert, which is supposed to change with the economy. And so that was intentionally done, to your point. That's why when people come back, you're learning something new, because what's relevant in 2020 wasn't relevant in 2012,
Right.
and certainly what's relevant in 2019 is not going to be relevant in 2021 due to the pandemic.
Right.
You have some notable graduates, don't you? Some
Yeah, we
very
really
great
do.
Success stories.
I was sitting with Eric Goody, our vice president at the Urban League, and he was saying, I was reading Houston Business Journal, the 40 under 40, and I noticed every other person came through our program.
Nice.
And
that says a lot.
no, it does, and it's a blessing. One,
Yeah.
but then even to your point about people coming back, like Robin, like it's a virtual cycle we
Yeah.
tried to create, where it's like, okay, like Kylie Summers, Tiffany Williams,
Tiffany,
Deidre Mathis,
Yes.
Michelle Levi
I'm sorry, I don't
McDaniel.
know the
All
people.
of them, all
Yeah,
four of them are very
huge.
successful in their
Okay,
field.
because seeing the names, I'm like,
Right. You'll right. And see, this thing over here doesn't watch TV. They're all in the news now.
Okay.
Kiva, I need you to get watch TV.
I don't even,
No, she
I don't
lives
even
a
pay
good
for
life.
cable.
She does
Yeah,
not. Yeah,
smart,
she's not
smart.
She's not
No, I
gonna
do
let her
Netflix.
brain be corrected.
I'm a
Netflix is a necessity.
I'm a Netflix person, yeah.
So, what's the Small Business Exchange? Is that very different from the university?
It is different, and so it's connected.
Is that a new project?
No, no.
Well, what is it though exactly?
So we started it about 8 or 9 years ago. So
Okay.
maybe 2 years after we started, 2 or 3 years after we started doing Small Business University, we wanted to find a way to culminate all the experiences that the entrepreneurs were having. So again, building camaraderie, building community. So at the end of the program, we wanted to find a way to have like a one-day entrepreneurship symposium to celebrate the entrepreneurs. Also bring on different subject matter experts, have TED Talk style presentations. And that's what the Small Business Exchange is. It's an exchange of ideas, communications, and networking. But also we wanted to be able to provide capital. And so we created a pitch competition on that day. And so we give away $10,000. And
Pitch.
Yeah,
that's what I tell people. I say it's open to anybody in the city, and then usually the people who come through the program, they're well prepared because they've got recent information, they've been trained to enter the pitch competition, but it's an open competition.
So now here's the question. So with it being on Zoom now, do you have to be in the Houston area? So even when you mention names like that, someone might be looking at the show who's not in Houston, and so you're saying, well, this person, they're like, I don't know those people. So if I'm just on Zoom, can I be in Waco, Texas, watching it?
You can watch it, yeah. So we did our first virtual Small Business Exchange this summer. And so we had people participating, like the senator out of Dallas, he participated, who was running for U.S. Senator at the time. We had the Entrepreneurship Center directors, like, so, Eric Goody, he's our director here locally. But then we had ones from Chicago, we had one from Atlanta, we had one from Los Angeles. And we had people from New York also participating in the presentation.
You said Europe?
New York.
Oh,
New York.
Wow.
Hey, you never know. We might have someone from New York.
Still very amazing.
Right.
Because if you're a small business person, like you said, getting
And you
the
need those
information,
services,
you can always hear that information over and over again.
That's the power of technology.
Now, is it only in Houston, or does Urban League have this program around the country?
I've been asked that question a few times. So they do have ECs or entrepreneurship centers around the country.
Okay.
So there's 12 of them located generally in high density African American areas where there's a high level of business traffic.
Okay.
And you can go onto the National Urban League website to look up those other locations. But in terms of Small Business University and the Small Business Exchange, that's specific to the Houston market.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. That's great.
So it's been a blessing to be a part of a community, watch it grow. And I sent you guys like the entrepreneurship video that we did. And so since being on this journey, you start looking at some of the gaps in entrepreneurship. So you look at there's a lack of mentors in certain areas. So that's where you have the SMEs.
Yeah.
You look at there's a lack of contracts that may be awarded to these businesses. So you see people like Commissioner Ellis doing the great work he's doing with the county, and now the Port of Houston. They have new goals that they're trying to push, and we've always brought all these people in. The other one was the capital piece. So we saw a huge uptick in technology businesses around 2015, 2016. And that was around the same time that we also knew that the mayor was working with the task force for the Technology Innovation Hub, which is being built right in y'all's backyard here in Midtown. And so we decided, okay, we need to find a way to make sure that the Black and Brown community have access to capital so they can participate in this new economy that's being built. And so we started that journey around 2017, and it spun off of, again, Small Business University, the Houston Area Urban League, where now we have a board of directors. We're raising a fund of $3 million. We'll start deploying capital early 2021. And again, it all started with just people like yourself, just coming every day, every Wednesday, and just showing that this is what you want to do. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna come back and kind of talk about like local funding, just so we can kind of get an idea, so they can kind of know what information someone needs to come in with when they start the program, and also like what are some of the top businesses that are starting through your program. So we'll take a little break, and we're gonna go deeper with Attorney Yates and try to just put all the information we can to help us all have a strong small business.
Yeah. Be right back.
Be right back.
And welcome back to How You Living. So today we're doing small business with Attorney Yates. So
how am I living? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, how are you living?
How are you living?
Obviously living well, right?
Oh no, check the check. Don't believe that. All right.
But when we left, you were asking about funding?
About funding,
Funding.
yeah. So tell us about funding through the Urban League, or
Yep.
what programs are there for the small business?
So with funding, that's a broad topic, right?
Mhm.
And so I know when we left last time, we were kind of segueing into the venture capital fund,
Yeah.
which is specifically for technology and innovation type of companies.
Okay.
Right, and so that's we've tried to provide capital for those friends and family around. Which, for those of you who are technology or tech-enabled businesses, you'll know that when you start out your app or your technology company, there's a potential for you to scale and make millions and millions and maybe even billions of dollars.
Right.
But at the very beginning, you have an asset that really can't be valued at a bank, so there's no collateral, and so you have to find either you have to have your own capital.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a rich uncle or rich aunt. And I don't know about y'all. I don't have a rich uncle or a rich
I
aunt.
don't mind that. He's out there.
Maybe my aunt might be holding out on me.
And we won't even go to the whole generational of not being able to do anything, so we're not going to go there.
Mhm.
Why not? Okay, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time.
We'll
So-
have you back for that discussion.
There we go. I will be here because that is the general purpose of the venture capital fund. So if you're in that space, go to www.thediversityfund.com. And so what we do is we try to help out with early stage funding. You go through the Urban League program, your technology or tech-enabled business. We seek you out, we get you prepared, we get you the capital, then we help you go through the pipeline. So then you can go to a angel group or a larger venture capital fund and then get funding. And then there's rounds like, you go to series, and then you can go all the way to initial public offering where you go become public company on the stock market. We'll save that talk for another day.
Oh, yeah, because my mind already...
Yeah.
But there's opportunity there, and that just goes back to the power of the Urban League and the power of community.
Uh-huh.
But there's other opportunities, and so there's crowdfunding platforms in the city of
And
Houston.
you teach that, right?
We teach that,
Yeah.
and actually one of our recent program graduates, Chris Garcia, he graduated last year, opened up a business in the middle of a pandemic using crowdfunding. He went to WeFunder, and he actually just spoke at the last virtual class this past Wednesday, and we shared all the content on crowdfunding, so all the rules, the regulations, and the concepts of each platform. This is important. Each platform serves a specific community or business. And so, yes, he went through it. He was able to raise, I want to say $50,000, which what he needed to finish out the build out of his restaurant. So now he's a fully owner and operated restaurant operating in Cyprus in the middle of a pandemic, all because of crowdfunding.
That is amazing.
So restaurants, because Houston has always been known to have a plethora of restaurants.
Yeah.
So have you noticed that being one of the top small businesses that you work with? Or I would think like restaurants would be up there.
You see a lot of people in the food business,
Right.
and it
The
varies.
catering is
Yeah,
a big
catering
one,
was a
yeah.
huge one.
Mhm.
He's the first one I seen actually try to open up a
That's
restaurant, a
great.
brick and mortar.
Yeah.
But he has a franchise model that he's been working on, and he actually to your earlier point we made that some people go through the program and come back. He went through the program 2 years. The first year he brought his
I'm
entire
looking
family.
forward to going.
Second year he came back just to check off boxes. By the third year, now he has a brick and mortar restaurant that he opened up. Some people have food truck businesses. I've seen a lot of catering businesses. You see a lot of service related businesses, and I think that's just based off of our community and what we've been exposed to. You're now starting to see a huge uptick in technology business. So everybody's building, web platforms or apps or so.
Do you
That's
have any coding classes at the Urban League?
we have partnerships,
Okay.
and so through our partnerships with like Flatiron, they came to the city a couple of years back. I'm not sure the status of that organization now, but we were referring people from the Urban League community to Flatiron, and they were able to take coding classes for free. Now we have a relationship with the Diversity Fund Houston, which just will be released in the paper soon with Prairie View A&M, where we'll be working with that academic institution to help those who are coders or developers now partner up with those who want to be founders of companies.
Nice.
And so that's a part of the ecosystem we're trying to build, so that if you're going through the program, you're a founder, you may not need to be a coder. You just need to have access to a developer that you can explain your ideas to, that can help you build it out, and then you can build this prototype or this MVP or minimum viable product so that you can get funding.
Right now?
All this is available right
Now,
now.
it was another one with coding. Microsoft, they had this one that was so awesome for young kids, young boys, in fact. I think it was called Boy Code or something. And they would go to like Atlanta and get it was like 800 little kids sign up, and they would provide them with computers and teach them how to code. So do you guys ever do anything with the youth when it comes to, I mean, since coding is the big thing, are you working with the babies?
Not intentionally, right? And so I'll tell you, and I say that because over the past couple of years, we've seen young people come into the program.
Right.
As of last year, we have a pitch competition. The second place winner was a 13-year-old young man who was a photographer.
That is phenomenal.
The year after that, we had a 12-year-old who went through the program, and he's been featured in the Chronicle and been on the news in the past year.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say their names because they're under 18, but they're doing very.
That's amazing. In terms of funding, who pays for this program?
I do. I have all the money.
I'm telling you, you're the rich uncle.
I'm the rich uncle you need to meet. No, lies.
Think about that. That's a cost. That's a major cost.
Absolutely, and that's important. And we try to explain at the very beginning of the program that none of this is free. This is by way of somebody who cares about our community and who partners up the Urban League. So the National Urban League started the Entrepreneurship Centers around 2014, 2015 is when we got the Houston location. And so you've always had consistent partners like Wells Fargo, you have BP, you have Co-America Bank, you have the Port of Houston and the UPS, and that's just to name a few of the sponsors that continuously support the Entrepreneurship Center here in Houston. And by way of that, that's how you were able to get like a Diversity Fund Houston, which is a spinoff of that. And then you have Small Business University and Small Business Exchange. And so, it's really the corporate sponsors. And sometimes you have some government partners, but really it's the entire community. So, because it doesn't work without the other startup development organizations like your Impact of Houston that has continuously been a partner of your SCORE, your Small Business Administration. They're continuously helping out. And then you have your subject matter experts like you two that continually serve the platform. It doesn't work unless everybody's being a player and serving that community.
Because the Urban League itself is nonprofit, right?
Yes.
And so maybe there's some grants that also can go into that program?
Well, I think it's all grant related, some form of fashion. So I mean, it's really
like from DC, like they should be able to be throwing money at people now to say, "Hey, you're the government for sure."
Essentially,
so from a selfish standpoint, are you still providing? Like, can graduates come back and benefit from all the programs that you guys offer?
Yes, anybody can come back.
That is phenomenal. I mean, I'll see you soon.
I hope so, and I hope anybody watching right now, I hope we see them as well.
When is the next class starting?
The next class will start the third week in January,
and so mark in my calendar.
And it goes through to March,
and it goes through till May actually.
Oh, to May, okay.
Yeah, so
and they go by fast. They really go by fast.
Especially if you're going to sit at home.
Oh, yeah, that's I enjoy going in person, but you make it really convenient.
I miss the in person, but it is convenient.
Yeah, that's basically just go to the computer.
I've been in the kitchen sometimes, and I've seen other people, they're like, turn on your camera, and you'll see people doing other things.
That's funny.
But it's convenient now. And I know that even once, I guess we have this vaccination, and I'm assuming by June, July, August, whatever, people will start feeling more comfortable. And I'm hoping by fall of 2021 we can do the in person, but we'll also still have that opportunity to do it online as well.
Are you taking the vaccine when it's available?
I knew she was going to go there.
Will you be taking those nanoparticles inside your veins?
No comment.
Are you going to be a human antenna?
We can't save them. You never. That's going to save somebody's life.
It's a joke, guys. It's a joke.
But is it really a joke? No, it's interesting. But I'm hoping whatever they need to do to normalize our society.
Yeah. I agree.
So somebody has to take the vaccine.
Right. Somebody. Some brave soul.
Well, if I'm on somebody's bed, deathly ill.
Right.
Shoot me up, doc. It is what it is.
Right,
For
that's
sure.
true. And if it gets to the point, and I know this is all conjecture, is you can't even fly unless you have your vaccination. If you've been, have you heard of that?
I'm pretty sure they're going to mandate, because the goal is they want everybody to take the
Right,
vaccine.
everyone
So
on Earth, like
somebody's,
measles.
there's a lot of money riding on that vaccine. So just be prepared. Eventually,
Right.
we're all going to have to take the vaccine.
Right, and one of the things
Live off
before
the
we
grid at
go.
that point.
Yeah, you're almost there. She's almost off the grid already.
She has a Facebook page. She's not off the grid.
Yeah, I have to make her post. No, I'm teasing. She's just not a big consumer of the garbage that we all are comfortable consuming.
It's so much fun, though.
It
Why?
is.
I don't know.
It's
And
nature.
hence that's why I need help with the social marketing.
I am so looking forward to that. We're definitely want to talk about your law practice too, because that is huge, and there were a lot of people in the city who need, representation, and they need to know if it's affordable, and we'd like to know specifically where your areas of expertise are.
Yeah, it's huge, because that's really how I pay the bills, guys.
Yeah.
I want you to know
Let's keep it real.
what I do in the community. That's my passion. So those are all my passion projects. But law is really how I keep Mama Bear and the kids happy,
Right.
and I'm able to afford the lifestyle that we plan.
Absolutely.
I have a law practice downtown. I have some partners. There's the law office of Yates and Associates. Actually, about to change the name here soon. But you can reach me.
Yates, Jacoby, and Livowitz or something like that.
Something close.
We're going to take it. I want to get more into it, but we got to take a quick break.
Oh man, I was about to get into the spiel.
Yeah, but then you can.
You saw the lean in, right?
Yeah,
Right,
we don't
I'm like-
and we don't want you to stop. We
Okay,
don't,
all right, I'll stop right here.
Yeah,
All right. Pause.
our engineers always tell us when we got to tell. Blame the engineer, guys.
Man, how we living? We're being teased up here, guys.
How
I'll
we
be back.
living. But no, don't lose that thought, please.
It's
Yes,
gone.
we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll find out more about Attorney Yates and how to get all the information we need to contact him. So join us as we take a quick little short break.
Be right back.